Hello, hello. Welcome to day 10 of Rhythm Over Intensity. Today's question is, why do people fear vulnerability and what happens when we actually risk it? I think people fear vulnerability. I know I fear vulnerability due to the enmeshment it has with betrayal or not having my needs met. So many times in my life, from a young age and throughout the years that came, I would open up to the wrong people, or even if I opened up to the right people, maybe at the wrong moment, I would be unmet. I would be blindsided by someone's inability or lack of capacity to receive that vulnerability. There is fucking an insane amount of mosquitoes here. What the fuck? In my ear, bruv, go away. So many moments in my life that I can recall where I was in a very vulnerable place, be that as a young child, as a teenager, as a young woman in my 20s, that vulnerability that I wanted to be met wasn't. And in one of my recent videos, I spoke how the feeling of being small and weak and vulnerable has been quite strongly tied with pain. So I know for myself, being truly vulnerable, not just being open as I can be, quite good about my past experiences and things I've worked through, but being truly vulnerable with things I have not yet processed. Things I'm in the moment really struggling with, or might even be really lost in the pain. In those moments, reaching out to others due to my own toxic shame, due to my own sense of being wrapped up in this pain and being so horrified at the intensity, at the pain, at the complexity of it all, that to be received by another person in that moment feels impossible because I feel like I'm the only one going through this pain. However, in the moments that I have risked it, in the moments where, despite the immense pain, I still made an effort to reach out to others, and it went well, those have been some of my most healing moments. And in contrast, when I did reach out to the wrong people, or maybe at the wrong time, and I wasn't received well, that does create a very certain wounding and an apprehension. An example that comes to mind is when you share your problems with someone and then they get then they get anxious and scared. Now you have to calm them down. You're like, fucking hell, mate. I'm the one who needed the calming down now. For fuck's sake, I wish I didn't even fucking share. And it's moments like that that write a story, a very specific story, that it is not safe for us to be received in the fullness of our human experience. Throughout the years, clinging on to people who didn't really meet me at the depths I wanted to be met at, but I just wanted some fucking sort of validation, so I would cling to the wrong people. And then I would try and open up and it would just terribly fall flat. As I lean into meeting myself, as I've been in therapy now for years, as I have made better friends that have more capacity to hold moments like that, that vulnerability in moments of my expressing it are the most healing experiences, and they are rewriting the narrative I have about who I am. I no longer feel nearly as too much as I used to. I'm aware I can be too much for certain people or at a certain time where they may not have the capacity to navigate or to support what I am navigating. As I've leaned in continuously, consistently into being vulnerable with myself and meeting myself in those sharp edges, in those shadows, and entering rooms I don't always want to, but be that on my own or with the help of a therapist, I have been able to expand my ability to hold myself. And through that experience, then I am able to allow others to hold me. I'm able to receive that because the blueprint has been rewritten to an extent. And an important aspect I find that with vulnerability, it is also not completely relying on the other person to save you. In moments when I lean on others, it isn't about can you validate me and make me feel safe and just confirm that everything is going to be fine, because they fucking can't. They can't guarantee that. No one can. But can I lean on them to be present with me in my human experience? Can I lean on them to borrow their nervous system in moments when I am really dysregulated? I need someone to be a more calmer presence than I am able to be for myself in this moment. I think people sometimes confuse vulnerability with needing to be saved from their emotions instead of being held in them, being supported, being witnessed. And the reality is, no one can save us. They can only be there for us. But until we can solidify or ground into that distinction, we'll continue running from vulnerability because we will continue wanting to be saved. But it is upon finding that power within yourself to meet yourself first and to then extrapolate that into your relationship, it is then we have a good chance of being truly seen. For me, the biggest lesson right now is really learning and grounding into the fact that I will be okay if I am not met. I might be hurt, I might feel, very triggered, and my abandonment might come up, but in the end, I will be okay. I won't die. And still, that can make vulnerability very terrifying. Where the other week I was going through a really hard situation and reaching out to people. Time to put my hood on. Reaching out to people was a very challenging thing. And when people didn't pick up the phone, oh, girl went on a fucking thing about being abandoned and no one loves her and like her friends are shit. And it's like, Jesus, calm down. You're not your phone's on fucking silent, woman. Most of the time, people can't reach you unless your phone's in your hand. So, little bit like calm down. And in those experiences, I'm learning to accept that that's still okay. That I'm still allowed to be that way, that it's part of the experience. And if I am to live a more full life, if I'm to be more alive, I need to take that risk. And I need to, in those moments, ask for help. In some of my lowest moments, I need to ask for help. I think that will be it today, because the rain is taking over my attention, and I also feel like the topic is quite complete upon what I just voiced. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you, mosquitoes, for joining me. I have never witnessed such tiny mosquitoes, but would explain the tiny mosquito bites I have on my body at the moment. I kept thinking they're too small, but I didn't realize there were tiny mozzies existed. I've learned now, not a fan. So I'll see you in the next one, hopefully with less mosquitoes this time. Bye!